Now listen to this story that we will tell to you.
The story of the Minnow. 5 passengers and crew.
With Gilligan aboard the ship, the skipper by his side.
An unexpected storm came up and tossed them with the tide.
They found themselves a shipwrecked clan, lost on Gilligan's Isle.
Gilligan and Skipper, the millionaire, his wife.
The movie star professor and Mary Ann began a brand new life.
What creatures they encountered. What riddles did they face?
What mysteries did haunt them in a strange but happy place?
On the new adventures of Gilligan,
All on Gilligan's Island. Yo-ho, yo-ho, ba-ba-bo-ho-ho. Okay, Gilligan, the rinse water.
Why don't you sing some more, Skipper?
I want to rinse this soap off my head, that's why.
Gosh, Skipper, you sing so nicely, like that famous opera star, Robinson Crusoe.
That was Enrico Caruso. And I don't want to sing, I want to rinse my head.
Just one more song, Skipper.
Gilligan, dump that bucket over my head. Sand? Is that your idea of a joke, Gilligan?
Gosh, no, Skipper. The drought, remember?
Oh, the well's gone dry. There's nothing but sand in it.
You're right, Gilligan, I forgot. We haven't had rain for months now, and the whole island is going dry.
Where did you get the water to soap yourself with?
I took a bucket from the lake. That's filled with fresh water because it comes from a deep underground spring.
I'll go get a bucketful from there so you can rinse yourself off. It's so dry, there's nothing left inside but the seeds. Whoa, look at the size of that big red lobster. That's no lobster, it's Mary Ann.
Ooh, ouch.
Boy, did you get sunburned, Mary Ann.
Ooh, and it hurts. I stayed in the sun too long.
Let's get back to the compound. Maybe the professor can do something for it.
I'll let that photograph soak a while.
Professor, Mary Ann has sunburn.
Put some of this sunburn salve on it, Mary Ann. It will take some of the sting out.
And I always thought the sun was supposed to be good for you.
It is, Mary Ann, but in proper amounts. You can overdo even a good thing, Mary Ann, and that's just what you did.
Well, I guess I wasn't very sensible.
Pardon me, I have to check my photograph.
Wow, look at the size of that photo.
Dear me, Professor, how did you ever lift a camera that large?
I used a normal camera, Mrs. Howell. That's enlarging fluid I soaked the regular size photo in.
Don't, Stubby.
It won't hurt him, Gilligan. I blended that particular fluid from natural substances.
Oh, you mean that fluid in the trough made a small photo grow that big?
That's right, Ginger. I wanted to examine a large photograph of the sky to determine if there were any signs of rain clouds. Unfortunately, there's not a sign of one.
Nonsense. We've got to get rain. We're going to run out of things to eat if the plants don't get rain.
And we certainly can't eat sand.
Sand. The skipper. I'm sorry, Skipper. Was I gone long?
No, Gilligan. So far, only 6 families moved in.
Say something, by George. Professor, what is it?
What I mean is that's the noise the moisture detector is making.
What does it mean?
It means that the moisture detector confirms the photo data. The condensation and saturation equivalencies of the globule ratio in the ozone are negative, and the potential viscosity is 0.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Professor. I was afraid you might say it isn't going to rain.
That's exactly what I am saying, Mrs. Howell. There's no sign of rain for months ahead.
No rain.
No food.
No us.
No kidding?
We're gonna run out of food, and there's nothing we can do about it. Ugh.
Gosh, Skipper, getting irrigated won't help.
I'm not irrigated. I'm irritated.
Gilligan, you're wrong, but you're right.
I am?
Getting irrigated will help.
You mean digging canals and ditches to bring water to the plants?
And we'll have plenty of seeds for plants because the dried fruits are just full of them.
Where will we get the water?
From the lake. There's plenty of water there.
That's right. And it's fresh water, which is what we need for growing plants.
We're certainly going to have enough seeds. I'm making enough hoes so we'll each have our own to farm with. How's your job coming, Mrs. Howell?
Oh, just fine, thank you.
Mrs. Howell, what are you doing?
What you told me to do.
I told you to make shovels.
Oh, dear, I thought you said hovels.
A hovel is a messy place. Why would Mary Ann tell you to make hovels?
Why, indeed, she should know that what we need is shovels.
Well, let's get started on the aqueduct.
Yeah, and on the ditches and everything that's going to carry the water, too.
That's what the skipper meant, Gilligan. And I think we'd better get started in a hurry. Still not a sign of rain.
I just thought of something. Boy, are we in trouble.
Up, up. A little to the left. That's it.
Huh. This is just like a ladder. Okay, you can let me down now. The first step is a Lulu.
All right, let's try out the bucket system.
It's a flood. Buy up all the boats in town. Oh, we'll be rich.
Glad to see you awake, Mr. Howell. We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, we have to finish the irrigation system.
Irrigation system.
Yeah, that too.
You were right the first time. Okay, that's the last of it.
That'll bring water to our farms. Let's get started.
Yeah, every day counts.
Whew, it sure is hard work. I don't mind it a bit. It reminds me of a really handsome guy I used to go out with. Oh, was he a farmer? No, he was a rich jeweler. Well, how does farming remind you of a rich jeweler? Oh, he made bushels of money selling diamond carats. Well, that makes sense.
They're right when they say that every man should work the soil at least once in his lifetime, Gilligan, digging into the good, rich earth while the sun shines.
Mr. Howell sure is taking his farming seriously.
Till that soil, plant that seed. People will pay when they need feed. I'll be the king of the farmland. Oh, by George. Yes, sir.
Thurston, dear, I thought we were raising food for us.
Think big, my dear. Think big. There's a fortune to be made in food.
All right, start the water flow.
Supply.
Boy, that's good. I'm hungry.
We can't rush nature, Gilligan. Until what we've planted has a chance to grow, we'll have to eat what's left in our supply hut.
Do we have enough food left there?
And if my calculations are correct, we have just enough.
This is the last of our farm plot to be seeded. Well, then it's just wait for the crops to grow.
I'm becoming an expert at this.
Not quite, Gilligan. You're supposed to make perfectly straight furrows, Gilligan.
I do. Watch.
I saw it, and I don't believe it. Gilligan, do you realize how those animals could revolutionize farming?
Yeah, especially if we could teach them to lay eggs.
Oh, dear, this is so much fun. I haven't done anything like this since my bridge and gossip club back home.
You did this with your Bridge and Gossip Club?
Oh, yes.
What did you plant?
Rumors, mostly.
Well, it's no rumor that we Howells are going to control farming on this island. Keep working, my dear. Keep working.
The first sprout. Gracious, it's exciting.
We did it, Gilligan! We did it!
I feel like a regular Billy Appleseed.
Johnny Appleseed.
Did Billy have a brother?
Yes. Isn't nature wonderful?
I still don't understand, Thurston, how our lovely little plants have grown so much faster than the others.
I told you, Lovey, one must think big. Yes, indeed. Very big.
Still no sign of rain. Good thing we've decided to use the lake water to raise food crops.
Nothing like a little fertilizer to make things grow big.
Boy, I'd sure love to know how Mr. Howell got his plants to grow so much faster than ours.
Well, maybe he's just a better farmer than we are.
I don't know. Knowing Mr. Howell, I'd almost bet that he's using some trick method.
But what?
Now, while the others are back at the compound, I'll give my farm just a little bit of extra water. All right, my dear. Start cranking.
Yes, Thurston.
Yeah, the enlarging fluid will make my plants larger than the others. And this extra water won't hurt either. Two dirty tricks are better than one. I always say.
What's the bucket for, Gilligan?
To make rain.
With a bucket?
Sure. I'm going to get a bucket of water and wash the car. It always rains after people wash their cars.
That's a myth, Gilligan. Besides, we can't spare the water. The moisture detector tells me that the water level in the lake is dropping.
Oh, but that's the source of water for our irrigation system.
There's no need for alarm. There's plenty of water for that, if we use it wisely.
Well, I just took stock of our existing food supply. Looks like the stuff we planted will be ready to harvest just in time.
I wish there was a way to speed up the growth.
What if the crops aren't ready to harvest in time? We'd run out of food.
No need to fret, my dear. If you'll just sign your farm over to me, I'll give the plants the Howell Green Thumb guarantee.
Oh, but we put all the work into it.
The good of all must be considered, obviously. I, if you don't mind, have a certain knack for farming.
You have a certain knack for wanting to take things over, Mr. Howell.
And you're not going to take over this farm.
These plants are sure slow growing. Every time I check them, they seem to be the same size as the last time.
Maybe we shouldn't check on them so much.
Allow me to end your impatience, gentlemen. Now, if you'll just sign this little...
No, for the last time, we won't sign our farm over to you.
Did they give you their farm, Thurston?
No, they know I can't stand competition. But why are they being so selfish?
Oh, dear. I'm so confused. I thought it was selfish to want all of the farmland.
That's not selfish, my dear. That's good old Howell enterprise. I'll show 'em. I'll make my farm bigger and better than ever.
Come on, little plants, grow big for Papa.
I wonder if that's how Mr. Howell got his plants to grow so big.
So that's it. He's been using the enlarging fluid for fertilizer.
The professor said it wouldn't hurt anybody because he made it from natural substances. And Mr. Howell's been sneaking extra water to his crops?
Gilligan, I think two can play at that game.
Gosh, that's good, Skipper, because that's how many we are.
I wonder if that's how Mr. Howell got his crops to grow so fast. I bet Gilligan and Skipper caught him at it.
All of that water is feeding Gilligan's and Skipper's crop. They're cheating.
Come on, let's check on our crops.
I can't wait to see our crops.
Hurry, my dear, hurry. You're about to see a miracle.
Wow, look at that.
I don't believe it.
Oh, it surpassed my wildest dreams.
Look at the size of the plants.
We're saved.
There's enough food here for an army.
Only if the Army has grinding wheels for teeth.
Oh, dear, what a lovely pop sculpture.
And that's about all it's good for, Mrs. Howell.
You mean it can't be eaten?
I'm afraid not. When I discovered the empty enlarging trough this morning, I was afraid that this is what you'd done.
It's all Mr. Howell's fault. He wanted to grow his crops big so he could convince us to turn our farms over to him.
And the rest of you became so spiteful that you did the very same thing.
My goodness, who knew? I mean, we just fertilized and watered the plants.
Too much. Sensible planning was called for, and you overdid it.
Everything isn't lost. We can ration the food supplies we have left and start planting again.
Sure, we have plenty of seeds left.
But no water. I told you the lake was dropping. You overdid that, too.
And without water.
We're doomed. Hold me tight, my dear.
Am I going to remember after this not to overdo anything, not even a good thing?
If there is an after this.
There, Thurston, you mustn't cry.
Sob, sigh, we howls might, my dear, but cry never.
But I felt a tear.
Strange. I did too.
Yeah, me too.
Those aren't tears. They're raindrops.
That's impossible. My weather forecast said there wasn't a sign of rain.
That's the good thing about rain, Professor. It can't read weather forecasts.
Well, Gilligan, today taught me some valuable lessons about moderation.
Yeah, you can really overdo things in life if you're not careful.
Well, from now on, I'm not even going to overeat dessert.
And I'm going to cut down on peanuts.
You eat a lot of peanuts?
Oh, sure, but nothing like a friend Herbie I used to know.
Well, how many peanuts did he eat?
Sometimes 200 pounds.
200 pounds of peanuts?
Yeah, and he washed them down with 40 gallons of water.
Okay, Gilligan, I get it. Herbie was an elephant.
He was? No wonder he died on a telephone with his nose.
Good night, little buddy.
Good night, Skipper. See ya.